Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to look at a blast from the past, but also a slightly modern version. This is the Microsoft Wired 600 keyboard. Keep watching to find out more. Now, as time has gone on, I've clearly got a little bit darker, but Microsoft packaging has got a little bit lighter. So traditionally we would see Microsoft packaging in that kind of red colour with the product label on there, but now they've gone for this nice kind of plain marketing materials in these white boxes, as you saw from the webcam, which you can check out up here. But this is the new logos, this is the new packaging, but in the box is the same good old Microsoft keyboard that we know and love. At least I do, and Kath certainly does. Now today we're going to be taking a look at this keyboard. Now this is a cheap and cheerful keyboard. At the moment on Amazon UK you can get these for about £8.50, and if you want to go for the white version, there is a white version available which is £10.50, which I think is actually fantastic value for money. These keyboards are super well built, it's got that really good Microsoft kind of feel and quality to it, and to me anything with a Microsoft logo on it is generally a premium product. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. So you're probably thinking, why am I reviewing this keyboard? Well, there's a very good reason. I personally think this keyboard is awesome. It's at a great price point, and there's tons and tons of people who build systems for offices, workplaces, general use. They don't want all those RGB lights and bells and whistles. They don't want a really noisy, clackety keyboard. They just want something which is going to be reliable, easy to use, and has a fantastic warranty. And speaking of warranties, this one in the UK comes with a 3-year hardware warranty, which is actually pretty phenomenal. There's not many keyboard manufacturers which will give you more than 1 year's warranty. So if you're looking for some longevity, I think this is a pretty good option. Okay, so let's take a look at the packaging, and then we'll take a look at the keyboard, and I'll go through some of my favourite features of it. So as you can tell, obviously from the packaging, it is what it is. It is a black office type keyboard with multimedia keys. This is in the UK layout. It's got media keys, quiet touch keys, and best of all, it's spill resistant. Again, if you're using this in some kind of office environment or whatever, if you accidentally spill your tea, your coffee, your cola, whatever it is, generally this thing's going to come through it without any problems. If it was an RGB keyboard, obviously not so good times ahead. Moving around to the back of the packaging, so it goes into some detail about the keyboard itself. So it highlights the charm buttons, which you probably have never used in your life, and chances are you're probably never going to use ever again, but they're there regardless. We've also got Windows keys, which I guess is pretty much commonplace these days. But best of all for me is you've got the media keys, or at least a small splattering of media keys. So we've got a play pause button, a volume down button, a volume up button, and a mute button. Perfect. I don't want all that other stuff like fast forward, rewind and all that kind of stuff. Those four for me are absolutely perfect. If you're watching something and someone interrupts you, grab the pause button, easily done, or the mute button, whatever the case may be. Nice and easy, really easy to get to, and it doesn't give you that whole kind of splattering of keys across the top of the keyboard and you're kind of hunting which one is it. With these, there's only a few to choose from, so it's really easy to get used to it. So quickly going back to the charm keys, which again you probably never used, but these were kind of introduced with Windows 8.1 with that whole new interface. So you had a hotkey or a charm key for search, refresh, and your settings menus, that kind of thing. Again, I've never used them, and chances are you never will either. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's take this thing out of the box and see what it's actually like. So as per usual, you get a product guide and you get your limited warranty leaflet, and obviously you get the keyboard itself. So the keyboard itself, as you can see, it's got this really nice kind of swooping, smooth angle to it. So no jagged, hard edges. And again, this is perfect if you're using this long term. If you're resting your palms on the base or on the side, you haven't got any really nasty edges to kind of give you that fatigue or whatever it is, which you get from some of these more blocky keyboards. Everything on this is nice and smoothly laid out. The keycaps themselves are all pretty much uniform height, and they're very smooth, not very concave, and they're, I would say, perfectly spaced. Very easy to type on, and I'll show you a quick demonstration of what the noise is when typing. So it sounds great. It's not exactly squishy, even though this is a membrane keyboard, and the membrane part of this is actually one of the key selling features in my personal opinion. The keys sound really nice, they're not noisy, so if you're working in an office and there's like 10 or 15 of you all using these keyboards together, it's not going to sound overly loud and you're not going to be distracting other users nearby. Also, again, if you're working late, it's not going to be distractive in your home office, that kind of thing. Or if you're gaming, or maybe if you're a slightly younger person and you're staying up well past your bedtime, which you shouldn't be doing, then this isn't going to wake your parents up with that clackety racket of mechanical keys. Again, going back to the keys, all the keys are really nice. They don't feel mushy, there's quite a nice spring to them, and when they're at the bottom, you don't get that kind of horrible bottoming out kind of feeling to it. There's no mechanical vibration, there's no metal backplate in here. This is pretty much all plastic components, and also because of that, it's actually pretty lightweight also. But even though it is lightweight, it's not going to go skidding around on your desk, because on the back of the keyboard you've got a selection of rubberized pads in various areas to keep it nice and steady on your desktop. Also, if you don't like the default layout or the default height, you can adjust the keyboard rake with these flaps that come up, which double up as legs, and that gives you a nice little bit of extra height to the keyboard. I personally prefer it in this layout with it slightly angled upwards. I find this works well with my typing style, but again, if you don't like that, flip them down and you can just go back into a regular, more flat keyboard. This is going to be more suitable for those of you that have probably used laptops and things like that before, or maybe an iPad. This is a very similar typing experience. So other features on the keyboard, we've talked about the media control buttons. We've got the charm buttons as well, which double up on the function keys. You've got a full selection of the function keys, which are separate. Again, personally, I do like this. I don't like having to press a function key and another key to get the normal function keys to work. F5 I use quite frequently to refresh websites. If you're some kind of banker or whatever, or you're checking up on the latest feeds, having the F5 key there easily available is really nice to be able to press. Another one of my personal favorites is the calculator button. I've gone on about this in quite a few videos. I love having a dedicated calculator button. I do a lot of calculations, and sometimes it is frustrating on a keyboard not to have that dedicated key, or I'm kind of going through the start menus trying to find Calc EXE. It's a pain, I don't like it. So having a dedicated calculator button for me pretty much seals the deal. Next to the calculator button, we've got our illuminations for the number lock, the scroll lock, and also the caps lock. So again, all those things are included. There's a lot of keyboards these days which weirdly don't have those lights on them, which completely baffles me why you wouldn't want that. The number lock is pretty important. Not so much so if you've got a separate keypad, but the caps lock is really important. The last thing you want to be doing is typing a reply to someone in a message and doing all caps and start shouting at people. Not good. So that is pretty much it for the keys and the layout. But what is really important about this keyboard is how easy it is to keep clean, and also if there's any spills or damages. Really simple to do. All you need to do is remove a few screws on the back of the keyboard. There's about 10 in total, which are just normal cross-headed screws, so nice and easily available. Undo that. With a little bit of pressure, you can remove this top deck from the bottom deck of the keyboard. The top deck you can then take away and either rinse it under the tap, whatever it needs to be. If you put some sort of Coca-Cola or something sticky on it, definitely run under the tap, a little bit of detergent, let it dry for a little bit, and it'll be absolutely good as new, and it will look like it did the day it came out of the box. Also, when you take it apart, you can see the membrane which is underneath it. Now the membrane is how this keyboard works. So basically, when you press a key, you press down and the membrane crushes down on some of the circuits in the circuit board underneath, and that is what results in a key press. So if you're having any issues and some key presses aren't registering for some reason, maybe you've got some fluid in there, maybe you've got some dirt in there, so you can just quite easily take this top deck off, remove the membrane, give it all a wipe down, put it back together, and you should be back up and running in minimal time and not have to worry about ordering another keyboard quickly. But saying that, if you do want to order another keyboard and get it quickly, these are available on Amazon, like I said, for £8.50. They're always in stock, so you generally get them the very next day on delivery, and we'll put some affiliated links in the video description so you can maybe get one for yourself. So the only other thing I haven't touched on at the moment is the connectivity. Now this is pretty much standard deal, so you've got a normal USB type connection on here, and actually Microsoft do generally tend to give you quite a generous cable length. There's just over 2 meters of cable length there, so if your PC is on the desk, or maybe your PC is underneath the desk, you shouldn't have any issues at all routing your cable to your tower. And you don't have to use it just with a tower. If you've got maybe a laptop or something like that, you can also use this. And Microsoft do a fantastically cheap Microsoft laser mouse, which you can put with this. You can actually buy this keyboard with the mouse as well as a bundle for around about £15. So if you're looking for a complete desk set, you want the reliability of wired, and you want the build quality of Microsoft, maybe worth a look. So there we go, there has been the Microsoft Wired 600 keyboard. I'm definitely a fan of it. Please let me know in the comment section what you think of it. In the meantime, I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll see you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.